Well, Obama's DHS chief, Jay Johnson, is sending out flares to Mr. Booker and other 2020 candidates with radical immigration policy, saying that is tantamount to declaring publicly that we have open borders. That is unworkable, unwise, and does not have the support of a majority of American people or the Congress. And if we had such a policy, instead of 100,000 apprehensions a month, it will be multiples of that. Joining me now is Art Del Cueto, National Border Patrol Council Vice President, and Francisco Hernandez, immigration attorney. Francisco,
hi.
Look, all of us are appalled at what's going on at the border. It is something that the president has been warning about, has been begging for money for. We also know that there's infectious disease issues. We know that it's the migrants themselves who are at particular risk on the trek through here, the experience trying to cross over here. This is something that's on all of our minds, which is why we've been demanding that there be some kind of work from Congress to solve this problem. So when it comes to Mr. Booker's proposal, for all these people, 144,000, I think, in May is an example that crossed over. Where should we put everyone that crosses illegally if we have open borders and do away with the facilities? What do you propose?
Well, and that's exactly the question. It's not what Cory Booker proposes or what I propose. It's what President Trump is going to propose. We're now 2.5 years into it, and he was the messiah to solve the immigration issue. He ran and won very largely on the immigration issue, and all he's doing is complaining about the Democrats and about the Republicans.
Well, but he's complaining for a reason, because he's being obstructed. That's the problem here. He has multiple proposals, and they've either been obstructed, or they've been taken to court, or they've been voted against.
Obstructed?
Come on now.
They haven't passed a single thing out of the Senate. Not one thing.
Yeah, but that's exactly. I'm not saying it's just the Democrats, sir. I'm talking about the system and the establishment. I agree. It's not the president. He's got his ideas. It's the establishment that likes this chaos. Art, you're on the border. You're right there.
It was the president who promised that he could do it.
Well, it'd be nice to have some funding.
But Francisco, it's because he presumed that everyone wanted to do what was best for the country. You're right down there. You know what's going on. What is your take on the nature of these proposals and what you've been experiencing, and what the border police have been experiencing daily?
You know, the National Border Patrol Council, the agents, the boots on the ground, the agency themselves, President Trump, we've been asking for funding. We need funding. We've been talking about the crisis on the border. We've been explaining how difficult it is to work in these facilities. We've been explaining the problems that we have in these facilities. We've been doing it for quite some time, and let's just face it, a lot of politicians have failed to act, and they have not given us the budget that we have needed to fix these areas. That's the reality.
And I think we all agree on that, right? So when we have this watchdog report saying we've got to clean this up, shouldn't that be directed? Shouldn't we be directing that to the people in Congress who have said first it was not a crisis at all, and then have voted against funding?
There's too many individuals that are set on attacking the president and not assuming responsibilities for something else. I mean, let's face it. Every time something goes wrong, everyone wants to say, well, the president's not doing this. Case in point, here we are asking individuals, well, what do you suggest is done if you release these people that are being detained? And no one has any idea what to say, except, well, it's the president's problem. Well, it either is his problem or it isn't his problem.
Gentlemen,
if you touch it, you own it. The president touched it, and he owns it.
Francisco, you didn't. But you don't even have a single idea of what to say.
What does that even mean?
Oh, sure we do.
Wait, Francisco. What does that?
So
what does that even mean? You touch it, you own it. All right. Does that mean, gentlemen? Just a minute, Francisco. If you touch it, you own it.
Yes.
Well, then let's build the wall. Make sure that we've got some a real steady legal immigration framework where we can get these people in here and secure them. Remove criminal illegal aliens. And so he's been trying to own it, but he's been stopped. Look, in the meantime, I don't know if we've got time to go to some of these quotes. If we do, look, I want you guys to hear this. We've heard a lot of outrageous claims, of course, from Democratic lawmakers in the last few days, but I want you to take a listen to this.
I think it's a money-making scheme. It is so sad. I said to one of the workers, who are all white men, no Hispanic men, no Hispanic women, everyone running this institution are white men. And I said to one of them, I said, I feel so sorry for these kids. He said, we treat them well. This place needs to be shut down.
That's what you're calling for.
They're making profit. Greed.
Yeah, so that was Congresswoman Frederica Wilson, the Democrat out of Florida. Francisco, how
Yes.
are we profiting? You would argue, I would guess, that we are, you would agree with her, that we're profiting off of illegal immigrants.
No, I think we are failing to address the issue at the source. Nobody's talking about why these folks have to risk their lives to come over here, and a wall is not going to fix it because they're already at the border and they will find a way in. But why don't we address it at the source countries? Why don't we hold those governments accountable for expelling the people by failing to provide jobs?
I like that you're not agreeing that this is a profit mechanism, considering what it's doing economically to the country. All right.
She's pandering just as much as Cory Booker was, and just as much as the president is.
All right, I appreciate that. Art, thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Panel, thank you both. I appreciate it. Coming up.